Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for another Talent Spotlight. We feature different and fantastic talent throughout the Charleston region to talk about why Charleston. And today we have the pleasure to talk about our growing sector, which is life sciences and healthcare. And we'll be talking with Dr. Lori McMahon, who is the Vice President for Research at MUSC. So thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate it. And we're going to go right into it. And we're going to say, how did you end up in Charleston?
Great. Thank you so much for the invitation to discuss today. So that's a really great question about how I ended up in Charleston. So I'm a professor of neuroscience and have been a basic and fundamental researcher in the field of neuroscience my entire career. I came to MUSC about 16 months ago and am honored to serve in the role of Vice President for Research and also Professor of Neuroscience. So my laboratory studies brain circuits that underlie learning and memory loss in aging, and also memory loss that accompanies neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease, and also memory loss that accompanies major depressive disorder. And we use animal models in my laboratory to try to understand what goes wrong in the brain with the goal of trying to make discoveries that will help patients in the future. So I came to MUSC for many reasons. And one is because of the strength in neuroscience research at MUSC. MUSC is known nationally and internationally for its work in addiction, both at the basic science, fundamental discovery level, but also in clinical treatment. And also MUSC is known for its expertise in alcohol use disorder. So as a neuroscientist, MUSC has been on my radar my entire 25-year-long career. And so when the opportunity to lead the research enterprise became available at MUSC, I was extremely eager to compete for this role, and again, feel honored to serve in that role here at MUSC. And I tell people that it's the perfect job in the perfect city.
Oh, I love that quote. Well, we're lucky to have you and to have MUSC with all the fantastic innovation that's happening here in the region. So thank you for coming down here and calling Charleston home. So Charleston, is recently kind of gotten on the map for life sciences, and with that being said, would you say others talk about it as being on the map like we do, and give us examples of engagement of people that can get involved here? If it's not, what's missing, and how do we grow?
Oh, that's a really great question. So, I mentioned that MUSC was always on my radar because of the strength in neuroscience, and I'm a neuroscience researcher. But MUSC is really terrific at running clinical trials. And so one of the life science sectors that's really growing and where MUSC is in the spotlight is working with companies to do clinical trials, and also our clinicians who are interested in partnering with others to run clinical trials. Our infrastructure is amazing. We have an amazing team that's led by Dr. Les Leonard. He runs the Medical Bioinformatics Center. So using electronic health records to do clinical research, to make new discoveries in patients and in disease, and working with pharma and other companies to run clinical trials is something that's a big strength for us, and we're on the map for. And to that point, our team developed a platform called Spark Request, that helps our researchers here at MUSC enter a request for data to do their clinical studies. And that platform is now used across the country. There are more than a dozen, and I'm losing count, we may be close to 20 academic research institutions across the country that are using this platform developed right here with NIH grant dollars that we've made available across the country. So I think that recognition has helped us be the focus for companies who are interested in using our really deep patient population for clinical studies.
Talking about there's opportunity for talent to come in here and be a part of what's next and the innovation of what's next. And also, I love that you touched on the fact that companies that can come down here and be a part of the life sciences sector. They might not even be a life sciences company now, but if you have the right technology, that's where partnership and innovation happen. And I think that's a big part of being in Charleston, is that people pick up the phone and want to help and want to support for what's next. So
Yeah,
with all the great things, go ahead, please continue.
I was just gonna say, to your point about companies that are not even in life science, when we're thinking about immunotherapy and CAR T therapy, also comes to mind supply chain. How are we gonna take these kind of fragile cells that can be implanted back into patients? How are we going to develop those here and make sure that they get to the location where the patient is? And so thinking about supply chain type processes, transportation is something that's going to be needed as this new therapeutic strategy develops. So I think it's going to take individuals with all kinds of expertise to get us, when I say as MUSC, but really biomedical science and research into the future.
I mean, you hit all the big sectors for us, right? So life sciences, technology, and supply chain and logistics.
Right.
The great partnerships all happening here in Charleston all at once. Well, so we talked about all the, the things that are going on. Do you think those lead to any misconceptions about Charleston and being in Charleston's life science sector?
So I don't know if there's misconceptions about Charleston in particular. I do think sometimes, and we've learned this a lot with the COVID-19 pandemic, that, science in general, there's some skepticism. And I think as an academic medical center who has mission and passion to understand disease and to find cures for disease, I think that's something that we have to focus on and make sure that we are communicating about the value, the importance of that to helping our family members, our friends who are suffering from disease. So making sure that everyone understands the value of research and discovery is something that we need to focus on. Charleston is a beautiful place to live. I haven't been here long, and I feel at home here. I feel like I've always been here. It's an easy place to live. It's a beautiful place to live. And there's just energy. There's energy, there's passion. I don't feel like I have a job. I can't wait to come to work in the morning. I'm never ready to leave at the end of the day. And I have an amazing environment, group of individuals here that are full of passion and energy. And, one thing that really drew me back to your original question, one thing that really drew me to MUSC is the spirit of innovation, the can-do attitude, and to reach for the stars. And it's just energizing. And I think for companies who may be looking for a new place to have a headquarters or to have a branch, I will just say that there's no limit to what we can do, and we are ready to collaborate and to make new discoveries and do new things.
I think you summed it up. You said energy more than once,
Yeah.
Energy with the people, energy with the collaborations, energy with the innovation. It's just a good time. Well, I know I've learned some things, and I thought I had my head wrapped around, and that's the interesting thing about life sciences and MUSC. You're never going to be able to keep up with all the great new things that are happening there. We always like to end with, something a little bit fun about Charleston. So tell me a little bit, maybe just real quick, a sentence or two, your favorite thing to do in Charleston, whether it's beach food or, whatever it can be.
So it's hard to say one favorite thing. The food is amazing. There's no question. Charleston's known for that. But one thing that I enjoy so much is walking in the footpath across the Ravenel Bridge. over the river. It's a great way to see the city and to get some exercise. And I've so enjoyed doing that. And I try to make that a habit every weekend.
That is a great call out. I haven't heard that one yet, but it's something that I love doing. And I try to do it at least once a month as well. So thank you for that. Well, I want to thank you again for taking a time to talk with me, and anyone watching. I want them to know that MUSC is actively hiring. So please be sure to always check out their website. And also CRDA, if you have heard about all the opportunities for your company to come here, you can visit crda.org and learn about collaboration, as well as going to MUSC to learn more about both collaboration and talent opportunities. So thank you again, and have a wonderful day, and appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.